What's going on, guys? So I got a head start with today's video off camera. Got a little antsy to put this stuff on, and well, also wanted to figure it out for myself so I can explain things in a more streamlined manner on video. But welcome back to the Six Streets YouTube channel. My name's Kevin, and today we are doing the anti-roll bar on the 2J Mark III. As you see, we got our drag radials off and everything. We got the jack out because eventually we're going to drop this car again. This is one of the last things that we are doing before it hits the dyno. I'll be showing some of the parts in a different video on what exactly is going to be happening. But yeah, so far what we've done is remove our left rear end link, and we also dropped the bushing and bracket that holds in the sway bar on the left side. So now I'm going to be showing the right side to pretty much show you guys what exactly has to get done to remove this. So let's run through the parts before we get to the install, and we only got 2 parts for the day. First off, this ST suspension sway bar, which is adjustable. You see it has dual mounting points. The outer one I believe is for minimum oversteer, the inner one's for more oversteer. But at the end of the day, we didn't buy this for actual handling capabilities. We bought this just to be able to put some power down better with a thicker sway bar. And then of course, Whiteline adjustable end links. Let me pop one out of the bag so you guys see. So here's one end link so you guys get an idea of what we're working with today. Pretty good quality, and definitely far better than these plastic ones that come with the car from the factory. I don't even know how these have actually held power. I'm not really sure, but pretty damn strong, I guess, for what they are. But we definitely don't want to be running that with about 600 horsepower that we're aiming for with the car on a stock 2J E85. That's our setup, Borg Warner 366. And of course, Haltech 2500 is the mastermind behind all of it. And Harry Turbo is the man with the magic, putting the tune on the car. So with the power we're aiming for, we definitely don't want that. And we do definitely want that thicker sway bar. Then of course the factory one, which I got half off so far. You can see that factory one is definitely thinner. I'll do a side-by-side when I get it out. So now that we got our radial off, let's run through the basics of what has to come off. It's very straightforward. So there's not too much explaining to do. I just got to pretty much show it and you guys get the picture. So as we remove this, very straightforward. You got a 12 here. By the fuel tank, I suggest a short 12 just so you don't end up hitting the tank and having problems getting it out afterward. Lower side is easier to reach on this end of the car. I realized when I came to remove this from the top, you don't really have to remove the end link from the top and bottom. You only have to remove the bottom, because if you're doing another sway bar and you have adjustable end links to go with it, like in my case, you're not reusing these. So there's no point in doing what I did. But, well, the more you know. Only remove these if you're removing your whole sway bar and replacing your end links. It's a more practical way to do it, but either way, it doesn't take too long, not too difficult. All right, so that last bolt was extremely annoying, but we finally have our sway bar dropping. All right, so here's the side-by-side, pretty much with the 2 bars. You can see there's a decently noticeable difference with the ST bar and the stock factory bar. So our end links have finally been adjusted to just about factory size. We'll make adjustments from there later on. Just use 2/17s to lock them in place together. So we're gonna mount these up. And of course, put our bushing on these sway bars. I gotta find those bushings right now, actually. I don't know where I placed them. But we're gonna place that. And yeah, then we're ready to install our new setup. And we're ready to bring this thing down and get ready for the dyno. So an abrupt ending to the install portion of the video, and you're probably wondering, why is the Prelude in here? No Supra on this side either, no Supra back there, no Supra anywhere. And the short answer is, the car left to Harry's. It's getting a bunch of mods done to it, and that's what we're going to be going over in this video. As far as the anti-roll bar, or rear sway bar, whatever you want to call it, that I didn't get to film all the way through the end, the whole install and all that. Short and simple answer. I had a class in between, had to stop in the middle, do that, then had to put on the afterburners and finish before sunset. I didn't really have time or the mood to just keep dealing with the camera, trying to explain everything, so I just said, fuck it. I need this car done for tomorrow so that I can hit Harry's house, and the car will be ready for the dyno eventually after that. And of course, I never even got to show you guys all the mods and everything that I was doing to the car. Apologize if I look like I'm looking away from the camera, because this is my first time using a Hero 9 Black as the vlog camera, actually. So I'm seeing myself on this side at the same time. So it's a little weird. But, as I was saying, I didn't even get to show you guys the mods the car is getting done. Unfortunately, I called AAA for the tow. They came way faster than expected in like 20 minutes. It usually takes a couple of hours. So I thought, okay, I can run through the setup and how the sway bar end links were adjusted and all that stuff before the car goes. But that morning, literally just in the blink of an eye, the car was gone and I was off to Harry's to drop off the car. So yeah, for the rest of this video, got some stuff to do today. So we're gonna drive around in the Prelude, and I'm gonna update you guys on what the new setup is gonna be like for the car, what the power goals are, and everything going down with the Supra now that it's gone. It's been a couple of days since it's been at Harry's, so real soon that car is going to be in the driveway again, and you guys will be getting actual driving videos of that car. And I'm going to be really excited to drive it. It's been December 29th the car died, so we're talking three and a half months of me not driving that car after the V1 fried itself. So let's just say I'm gonna be pretty pumped about that when I get the car back. But with that being said, time to get into the Prelude. I don't know if I have it unlocked. Yeah, I do. And go for a drive. Alright, so I'm gonna keep the music real low because I do need some music for when I drive this car. I do enjoy that. But you know, gotta avoid copyright. So, what's going on with the Supra? The big question of the day for this video, and one I'm excited to answer, because what's going on with the Supra is actually extremely good. Okay, so it's at Harry's getting some electrical work done, because as you guys saw in the last video on that car, it did not fire up due to, well, it could not see cam and crank signal. A couple of wires might need to be repinned in the harness is what I'm assuming is going on, because that harness was modified anyway to fit the AM V1. A couple other guys have had similar issues with their cars like this, if the harness isn't 100% OEM and they get a patch harness. So that's that was our problem, and why we couldn't start the car when I tried to plug in the V1 and get a base map done. That was the whole big deal. This car's driving so nicely now that I put a new shifter in it. I really enjoy driving this thing, and it's serving the purpose. You know, I bought this thing to driver mod, and it has really helped me out in my driving skill. Apologizing for the windshield crack in advance as well, because I still haven't fixed this thing. My whole plan was to get the Supra up and running first, so I have a different car that can still take me places while I do the windshield, while I take care of the left speaker that's not working, and a couple of other issues in this car. Very minor issues though. This thing has been very reliable, definitely saves more gas than the LS400 while still being fun and helping with the driver mod, of course. So I'm loving this thing, loving the experience of owning it. Now, other details on the Supra. So that was why we couldn't get it started, right? So automatically it was gonna have to go see Harry, but also a couple things have been added to the list. I needed to get a Haltech wideband controller put in the car, so he's throwing that into it, the single channel wideband controller. Now, additionally, I started doing some research on coil pack modifications, and while 1ZZ and LS was relatively affordable, I wasn't necessarily content with the spark and the reviews I was hearing about it for the money it costed. So, even if a lot of people do run them, I started looking at other routes. R35 is very expensive, about as expensive as IGN 1A. So what I ended up doing was going the Audi R8 coil pack route. Alright, yeah, he let me in. But I got some Audi R8 coils for the car. They do not need any brackets whatsoever. $20 a piece from Rock Auto. Denso coils, which are supposedly more popular than the factory ones in the tuning community, according to the research I did. And they provide more spark than LS coils and more spark than 1ZZ coils. They're slightly below R35 coils for a third of the cost of R35 coils. Now, I know it's gonna look not as clean as if I did 1cc coils or LS coils, even the R35 coils. I know it's not going to look as clean, but I have done a lot of things on this car that are completely function over form, and that's just kind of who I am. If it works, I'll do it, regardless of what it's going to look like. If it helps the car, I'm going to get it done. So I went full function over form. Forget the fact that I can't run the factory spark plug cover or any of that. Full function over form. Purchase the R8 coils, and if anything, I'll try to make a little or get one made, a little plate that can work as a bracket, even if it's not really holding anything, so it's technically not a bracket. It would be purely aesthetic, just something to cover up in between the just something to cover up in between where the coil packs are at, and just make it look a little better. Might get on any piece of metal and just cut some holes in it, make it look pretty, and then of course bolt it down. That's what I might end up doing. Shifting the gears in this car is really satisfying, honestly. Simple, but I don't know, just something that gives your drive a little extra joy. Alright, so coil setup has been covered. Now I'm also throwing in a completely budget DIY digital dash that I'll actually be setting up with Harry, so I'll probably have a video on how to do it whenever that car is getting closer to hitting the road. So I'm doing that. So I'm getting that done, and it's actually saving me a lot of money because the Haltech digital dash is $900. The Haltech can gauge is still not as functional and is $300. And so I figured, why not save some money, get a tablet for like 100 some bucks, and then just spend the money on sensors. Speaking of that, I got an oil pressure sensor and a fuel pressure sensor going into the car, so we know what's happening with it. If we feel we're having fuel issues, I can actually look at the data, see the fuel pressure, see if the pumps are working fine. Oil pressure, I can actually see if I need to shim the oil pump or not. That's one big variable right now. If the oil pressure is not that good, I'm gonna have to take the car apart and shim the oil pump. So that's one drawback to everything happening with the car, but the benefits definitely outweigh that, and who knows, maybe we won't have to end up shimming that oil pump anytime soon. Maybe we will eventually, but not now. Oh, right. Also getting flex fuel set up for it so that the car can be on E85. And we're gonna be shooting for about 600 plus, that's for sure. The car's still stock head studs, stock gaskets, stock everything aside from the turbo system, the fuel system, and electronics. So we're pretty much shooting for what a stock 2J could be at its fullest potential, really. What a fully stock 2J. No cam, no built head, none of that. Just a fully stock 2J. It's pretty much going to be at its fullest potential. Except I don't think we're going to be turning it up too much because I prefer drivability over horsepower. So I'll be satisfied with the 600 plus the car is going to have. It's definitely going to be a blast to drive and going to be, well, hopefully be somewhat reliable as well. So as far as modifications, I believe I've pretty much covered everything. So a quick recap: wideband controller getting swapped out, new coil pack set up. The wiring for the cam and crank sensors is going to be revised, of course, so that the car can actually fire up. Ooh, that's a clean Ferrari right there. Damn, I think it's a I think that's a 458 or a 488. I'm not too sure from this angle. Okay, could I go? Yeah, after this guy. And a little pull. And the one thing I really enjoy about this car, driver mod. But yeah, guys, pretty much covered everything as far as the modifications happening to the Supra. Wideband controller, coil packs, some of the wiring revised, Fuel pumps are gonna stay the same. We put the 2300cc injectors from Simon Deca in it beforehand. We had thrown those in, I believe about a month or two ago. So we threw that in, getting ready to run full E85. Everything is E85 compatible right now in the car. The lines are not full rubber, they're synthetic rubber, technically not compatible, but some guys have run E85 on them for a while. So in the meantime, I'm gonna be doing that as well. And well, yeah, coil packs, wideband controller, more sensors for safety, and then we're just gonna push a boatload of power, you know, and of course the sway bar that I showed in this video to help put that power down. I'm actually really excited about what this car is gonna be when I get it back. This is gonna be pretty much the pinnacle of what you can do on a stock 2JZ safely. So really, I'm excited to see what this car is gonna do. So honestly, I'm really pumped for all this stuff the car is getting, because it is gonna be an absolute monster, pretty reliable, brought into the 21st century with the new technology it's gonna have in it, all the new electronics. So the car overall is gonna be a much better package. Finally, it's not just gonna be, you know, power and it's missing all the sensors and everything to do it safely. And you guys are gonna see it real soon, putting that power down, you know, track only, maybe Mexico sometimes. We don't talk about that. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for a lot more on the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.